We're here today to talk to Jody Dolan, who is the wonderful person behind the laundry truck LA. It is an incredible program started to provide free laundry service to the homeless community in Los Angeles. Jody's going to tell us a little bit about how she built and runs the program so other people looking to help in their community can get started. Before we get into the details, can you tell us a little bit of background on yourself and how you got started with it?
I have my own fashion brand, DOLAN, and being in and around Los Angeles, downtown LA for so many years, I noticed there was a really big problem with homelessness, and I didn't know really what to do, so just to start, I got involved and I started volunteering on Skid Row. And I got ultimately involved with the Shower of Hope, which is an incredible organization, mobile showers for people that are experiencing homelessness. And what I realized pretty quickly was a shower is amazing, but people were having this transformative experience and having to put their dirty clothes back on. So I was able to connect the dots and understand the power of clean clothing and what it can do for self-esteem and dignity. And so we decided to build a laundry truck.
So how did you get started exactly with the laundry truck?
The first thing really was because we were connected with the Shower of Hope and other service providers in the space, we were able to ask some questions. Do you think this is something your clients would need or use, or is it in demand? And the answer was across the board, like absolutely yes. And nobody's doing it. So we decided to jump in and figure it out.
Can you tell me a little bit about the trailer itself?
The first thing to consider is who's using it, where you're using it, and go to those locations, do site visits, which we did at the beginning. We ended up with a 16-foot trailer with 5 washers and dryers inside that's towable. And the reason why we did that is we didn't want the extra big space of a huge truck.
And what about the washers and dryers themselves?
Commercial grade is critical, and we are doing laundry, 7 days a week, day and night shifts, and loads all day. So they really need to be like heavy-duty commercial grade.
And how do you supply the gas and electric?
For the gas, we actually have propane tanks that we put on the front of the truck. And for the electric, we install outlets so we can plug in these big shore hoses. In other cases, we use generators, we use a big heavy-duty towable generator, which is what you need for 5 washers and dryers, but that allows us to be pretty fluid, and it allows us to go in and out of places and be really mobile.
And I'm sure water's probably a big issue with washers, both the clean water and the wastewater.
We use a regular kind of garden hose that comes out of the truck, and we connect to a water on site. The water needs to be within 50 feet, let's say, of the trailer, so we can use a regular hose. We need to make sure the water pressure is good, so sometimes we have to add a little pump in there. We dump on site, and the water is considered gray water. It's safe to dump, so as long as there's a sewer really close by, that's the best way to dump, because it's not that safe to travel with water in the tanks on the truck.
What are your days and hours of operation, and do you have employees?
Yeah, so we decided to have a staff so that it was reliable. Our hours of operation are different every single day, so it really depends on the needs. Wherever the community is, that's really where we like to show up.
And how many employees do you have?
4 employees right now.
Any issues with permits and working with the city and politicians and where you park these trucks?
We do have some parking challenges, but in terms of permitting, I don't think that we've needed any type of permitting for the service and for dumping water. The city has been really great to work with.
What are the costs to operate something like this?
I can say that the cost of the truck itself is around, I think, $70,000, which would include a custom trailer with the washers and dryers and transportation fees, and then the operations cost simply really is going to be determined based on how many days and the city and the state you're in.
How is your relationship in working with local politicians?
The city and the county of Los Angeles have been incredible supporters. I will say that what was really helpful for us was funding it ourselves initially, getting proof of concept, getting up and running, and building a case for it. And once we had that, we were able to get a lot of people really excited and behind it.
How do you think about fundraising?
So that's such a good question, because when we first started, we really just reached out to friends and family, which were incredibly supportive, and we were able to raise $75,000. When we got to the first $50,000, we were able to put a deposit on this trailer, which is custom built, and kind of get us rolling. After that, our first corporate sponsor was Clorox, which is incredible to have their support. They're still a supporter. We use social media, which are great and reliable sources for fundraising. But for us, I think it's really important to first get a foundation of some fundraising, and then I think you can go after grants and bigger contracts. City funding being one of those that has really been great for us.
And what would your number one suggestion be to someone that is interested in starting in their own community?
Work with people that are already in the space, connect with people that are doing auxiliary services to what you want to offer, so you can really learn what the needs are. And I would say go for it, and don't be discouraged if it takes a little longer than you think. I think it took us 1.5 years from when we started fundraising till we did our first load of laundry, and there was a lot of learning in between. There are only a few mobile laundry services in the world that we know about, and each of those services we reached out to, and they were incredibly helpful. So reach out to the people that are doing the thing that you're interested in, and I'm sure that people in this space will be helpful.
And what are your dreams for the future?
Well, we're offering a service that I hope will not be increasing, the population needing laundry that are living on the street. But the response that we hear from our guests is really incredible. And what they tell us is that by having clean clothes, they're able to go out into the community, they're able to go to the grocery store, and people treat them like a human. And I think that's sort of like the biggest compliment that we can get, is knowing that we are changing people's lives in such a fundamental way, and that they feel like they can be part of society because of a service that we provided. It's amazing. I would just encourage anybody that's excited, that's motivated, to do it. We have a tremendous need, as everybody can see, and we really need everybody to get involved.